Welcome back to the Arizona Real Estate Minute. I'm Kay,
And I'm Rick.
and today we're going to talk about condos and townhomes in the Arizona market.
So one of the things that we wanted to cover is basically, everything we've been hearing down here from real estate brokers and investors alike is that don't buy condos, don't buy townhomes, don't buy anything in a homeowners association. And the reasoning for this is because of, as you know very well, the FHA requirements. So if you want to go over that a little bit.
Strict FHA requirements. In a new complex now, it needs to be 50% sold before they can even close on the first loan. And with today's buyers, like as I experienced in the complex I sold, they are all first-time home buyers for the most part, and they
go for those.
They go for those FHA loans, and 50%. And actually, the conventional loans were getting like that too. The complex was tough. It was a tough. I made it through, but it was scary.
Yeah.
And so the lending requirements are just really strict.
Well, yeah, and also, what's happening is some of these established communities that are, going into foreclosure and short sale, a lot of investors are scooping them up, and when that happens, what it's doing is it's dropping your ratio of homeowners.
Owner-occupied versus
investor.
Right.
So, what's happening is banks are not willing, after a certain point of investors come into that community, banks are not willing to lend any longer on those properties. So the reason you're seeing some of these, very cheap condos that are, very nice. I mean, for instance, one of the ones we saw that was built, in I think 2006, recently, selling for $32,000.
I mean, it's less than a car, expensive car.
A 5-year-old condo selling for, $30,000, and if you go back a few years, these things were going for, low twos, 220 for the same condo. And what's happening is only cash buyers are being able to buy these. So I agree in some senses that if you're expecting appreciation, obviously you probably shouldn't buy one of these. But there's situations where I disagree, and I think that you really should take a look at these. One, investors looking for purely a long-term hold,
passive income,
and return on their investment. I mean, if you can buy a condo for $30,000 and you can see a free and clear rent roll after expenses of $400 a month, like one of these ones, it's very likely you could do something like that.
Right.
Where can you get that kind of return on $30,000, $400 a month? It's
crazy.
It's an amazing return,
right?
And that's free and clear after all expenses. So that's one example of when you might want to do something like that. Another example is if you're looking to buy a house and you're looking to stay there for the long term, or a condo. Maybe you do intend to move, sometime in the future, but when you do move out, you plan on having some money to buy something else, and you want to use that as a rental property. That's another great situation.
Right. Keep it as a rental.
Yeah.
As an investment property.
Exactly. So if you're looking for the long term and you're looking to hold it for a number of years, then you can really, you can sweep in and steal something.
Right. Things to be cautious of, though, that people are concerned about, is that there are some buildings. I think it's probably better to get newer buildings because the older ones might have assessments, and that's where they have things that need to be repaired, and the association doesn't have enough money, and so you have to come up with some money. So you do have to kind of be careful. There are things that can happen, but for the most part,
see,
I buy them all day.
Everybody talks about assessments on condos, but if you think about your own home, say you own a house and the roof goes out. That's now you got an assessment on your own. You're not sharing it with anybody.
Exactly.
So I mean,
it's the same thing, really.
You can't really be too scared of assessments, in my opinion.
Right, and also the homeowners association forces you to save for those times, whereas in a house, it just kind of hits you by surprise.
Exactly.
If you're not careful.
Yeah. So those are a few situations where you might want to take a look at condos and townhomes. They're vastly undervalued in this market because the only people who can buy them are those who come to the table with cash. So if you're thinking of coming to the table, some cash for property,
they're great deals.
Yeah, you can steal something right now. So. Yeah. And plus, as the market continues to deteriorate, that's something that it's a cash price. It's not a price based on artificial lending, FHA, tax credits. It's based on what it's worth in cash. So that's something that's going to hold its value better.
Exactly.
So
that's our tip for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.